Welcome to the show where we nerd out about pretty much anything, from games, shows, and movies.
To music, toys, and comics of all types of fandoms.
This is GeeksspeaK. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of GeeksspeaK. We're
back to our usual shenanigans.
We're, 2 episodes in of Loki, like 7...
Eight episodes into Bad Batch?
8 into Bad Batch, crazy ride, and then,
And I just wanted to jump right into it, because episode 8 is titled Reunion, and that alone gave me reunion, we're gonna see Crosshair.
Yeah, no, we do.
Oh yeah, it's pretty much the start of the episode.
And that's something I do like. The episode starts right off on Camino, so, we haven't seen that place since, the first episode, or it's the second, my bad.
Right, yeah. Is it the second? No, I think it's the third, because we see Crosshair in that one, and it seems like every time we see Crosshair, we've seen Camino. So I think it's the third episode.
Yeah, okay, maybe. But, basically the episode starts off with Crosshair getting orders to eliminate the Bad Batch.
Oh, yeah, because
they learn of their location on Braga from the last episode from the Scrapper Guild. So, there's that.
And then we cut to Braga, where we see them, and Wrecker's just teaching Omega how to disarm explosives.
Yeah, disarm and fucking arm explosive, which I love the part where he's like, all right, you gotta disarm this one in 10 seconds. We're gonna go kablooey in 10 seconds. 9, 8, as she's sweating, It's just a smoke bomb. Long story short, it's just a smoke bomb,
But dude, okay, I know that she is like an orphan clone who is being hunted by bad guys and everything, but kind of jealous of her life, not gonna lie.
Oh yeah.
She's disarming explosives. She's shooting bows at targets in what I assume to be space bars. She's living it up.
Hey man, you want to do that? Apply to the army, partner.
Hard pass.
I feel you on that.
But this is what is this? Is this the second time that we've seen them stay in the same location 2 episodes in a row?
Yeah. So, we obviously see them stay at Sid's place, but without the knowledge of them actually staying there, because when they first introduced Sid, at the end of the episode, we think that, they're just going to leave and whatnot. But then we cut to the next episode after, they're still at Sid's place doing missions for her and whatnot.
Right.
And then last week's episode, they go to Braga, and this week's episode, they're still on Braga, so.
But why are they on Braga, you ask, Zach? I'll tell you.
I didn't ask, but, because I already know the answer, but, you tell me.
No, they're on Braga because Hunter and Tech are hatching a plan to make more money and hopefully pay off their debt to Sid. I guess, because they apparently have one of those.
Yeah, because all that space
That's
popcorn.
Bullshit. But they want to sell weapons and get intel from the ship to trade to Sid for, credits.
Oh, yeah, and, it doesn't go so well.
No.
As they're doing that, I'm pretty sure they run into the Scrapper Guild a little bit before, but the Empire shows up, so, there is that.
Yeah, but.
I like big butts and I cannot lie.
Before the Empire shows up, we get a scene of Nala Se talking to the Prime Minister, pretty much confirming that they sent Fennec Shand.
Yeah, I literally had that in my notes as well. And I'm like, okay, so they're sending bounty hunters after. I didn't think it was the Kaminoans at first because they wanted to keep it low key.
Right.
But then, you know, we get Fennec Chan. And then later we see a familiar bounty hunter from the Clone Wars, Cad Bane.
I don't know his name, but we'll get to him. But yeah, so they are the ones that are sending bounty hunters after what is their last hope of the clone
not to
program,
get ahead
Omega.
of myself, but let's be honest, next week's episode is probably going to be the Bad Batch getting Omega back. So the bounty hunter is most likely, you know, going to fail his mission. What bounty hunter are they going to get next?
I'm not sure.
I don't think they're gonna get Boba because he's still too young. But
maybe they don't even. Maybe that's not the outcome. We don't know.
Yeah, maybe
like
a bounty
you said,
hunter
not trying to get ahead of
finally,
ourselves.
you know.
Right.
But yeah, so we learned that the Kaminoans are behind the whole bounty hunter scheme with
which we
going
kind
after
of
Omega,
thought,
which
but
you know. You're bringing someone from the Mandalorian, and then you're bringing a familiar face from the Clone Wars, so that's very interesting.
Right. But anyway, like you said,
yeah.
Empire.
The Empire shows up. Crosshair lands with a bunch of other clone troopers, and then actual soldiers, actual enlisted soldiers.
Wait, did you say a bunch of clone troopers? I thought they were all stormtroopers.
Well, they're still clone troopers. They're not in the army yet.
Oh well, okay, you're right. But I mean, like,
but
I still wouldn't call them clone
CT.
troopers.
CT meaning clone trooper.
I mean, yeah, I guess, I don't know. It's just weird to call them clone troopers because I know they're not clones. They're just stupid humans, but
no,
you're right.
Like, they were actual clones. Not all of them were enlisted soldiers. They were clones.
Oh, okay, so it was a mix.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, Crosshair shows up. He looks pissed. He looks pissed.
Nah, what do you mean?
No, what are you talking about? You know?
He looks fine.
And then Crosshair, since, you know, the Bad Batch is his brothers, and whatnot, they know what they do. Automatically he calls them out for jamming their signals and whatnot. And then I think he uses that to figure exactly where they are. He
used their own tactics against them.
Yes.
With the jamming of the signals, he knew that meant they were in the ship. And then he purposely said go to I think it was the hold or the front of the ship. And then he thought, you know, they would be listening to the comms. They'd go somewhere else, and sure enough, they did, and Crosshair caught him. So this better be a learning experience for the Bad Batch.
Yeah.
Like, they need to learn. You got to start switching it up. You can't. We've got little hints of that, like with them not leaving with Rex, and even mentioning it in this episode. Like, hey, we're kind of on our own path. You need to switch up your fight tactics then, because you're doing all of the same stuff.
Especially if you're up against one of your own. Like, they know your tactics.
They've never done this before.
Oh, and on top of that, what the fuck is Plan 7? Wrecker, like, when they're getting kind of ahead of myself.
No, you're right. Yeah, I don't know, but I really thought Wrecker was gonna, like, sacrifice himself or something, if I'm honest. I thought that's when someone was gonna go down.
Like, they're in one of the engines of the Republic cruiser or whatever.
Right.
And they know that
you're not
they
getting
are
ahead
surrounded.
of yourself. This is what happens when Crosshair catches them. He puts them in the engine. It's gonna fry them pretty much.
I'm just gonna say this. These episodes have been a lot less filler since, like, episode 3, or not 3, 4, maybe 5 even.
6 was all right. 7 and 8 good.
Yeah. So, like, I
yeah, it's gotten a lot better.
I love that there's more action. I love that there's more storytelling. Like you said, we haven't seen the Kaminoans since, like, episode 3.
I feel like that's to be expected, though, because, like, you needed it to be slow in the beginning.
Yeah.
You need to build this backstory and attachment. Otherwise, what are the stakes if we don't have any emotional attachment?
But even in the Clone Wars, if I recall, because I do rewatch it every here and there, like, the first season is kind of slow for, like, the first half of it entirely, and there's like 26 episodes.
Well, I think now we're kind of at a point where it's like people know if you're watching the show, you're not a newcomer. You're going to Disney Plus. You're hitting the Star Wars section. You know where you're going. You know what I mean? So they're kind of assuming you know at least a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, you aren't wrong. Like you, before getting into it, you knew a little bit from what you remember from watching the movies when we were kids, or just from me telling
That's
you
what
shit.
I like about the show, though, is I don't need to know that, though.
Yeah, no.
Like, I've never really fully watched the Clone Wars. I did a little bit, but, like, not enough to get, like, I don't know the blue guy's name. I recognized him, and I thought he looked cool.
Yeah, can we just talk about that? Because that was the coolest part.
No, we got to build up to it.
Actually, no, that wasn't the coolest part. The coolest part was them being in the engine, and the second coolest part was...
Dude, okay. So, like, leave it to Wrecker to explode themselves out of trouble. He carried weapons with him, and honestly, I expected him to lose them all by the end.
But before even the engine, I love the part when Wrecker just throws one of the proton torpedoes at the fucking clone, like, fuck you, dude.
Yep, he loses the torpedo. Direct hit! And then they use the explosives that they were trying to sell to Sid. So, I mean, ultimately, they come out with their lives.
Yeah.
But they don't have any money now still.
But then again, even Echo brought up a fair point earlier in the episode, like, why didn't we just leave with Rex? We wouldn't be in debt if we just left with him.
And I think that's something that they're gonna have to. I think that's a plot we're still following. Where are they gonna go? What are they gonna do by the end of this? Because they're not clone troopers anymore.
Yeah. And then Hunter, I believe, mentions that, like you said, they're on their own path, including Rex.
Yep.
Let's be honest, I could definitely see some of that plot maybe going through Obi-Wan, maybe even into the Ahsoka show, because there is a theory about Rex. So, like, alright, so in Return of the Jedi, there's a scene where they're storming the Imperial base on Endor.
Okay.
And, like, it's a whole bunch of troops. And then there's like an old guy in that, that looks very similar to how Rex does in Rebels.
Okay.
So there's a theory that he's possibly still alive even after Return of the Jedi. So maybe a plot point could maybe lead into Ahsoka. But if not Ahsoka, I feel like some of it will go through the Obi-Wan show, because the Obi-Wan show takes place a lot sooner than the Ahsoka show.
Right. Wow.
So, yeah.
Right.
Which, I definitely do see Rex being a part of the Rebel Alliance as
for sure. I mean, just the fact that the sisters were the ones to call him and he came in, he's deep in it.
But then in Rebels, we see him kind of like on his own with two other clone troopers that defected from the inhibitor chip. So.
Well, okay, so maybe that's sort of the end of that story arc. Like, he finally freed those were one of the last two clones.
No, but like he gets back into like the Rebel business when we see him in Rebels. So
right.
Yeah, but maybe
that's just to show like he's just always doing different shit.
Oh yeah, probably, because they definitely can't skip out on, like, we need to see Rex going to these other clone troopers, because people theorize that Rex had their inhibitor chips removed as well.
That would make sense. I mean, he had the Bad Batches removed, so at this point, that point in Rebels, which would take place after this, that means he already has a history of removing chips, so it would make sense.
So, but we'll have to wait to see on that part, because like Rex's story is definitely interesting. Like the other day I got asked, who's your favorite clone trooper? And I'm like, would I sound generic if I just said Rex?
That is a generic answer for me. I don't know many other clone troopers other than Rex and the Bad Batch.
Yeah. But then again,
and Cut.
Omega, she's living up to some hype.
I'm still just like weirded out by Omega, because it's like, what the hell is your power? What are you?
I don't know, but,
really.
Like
I'm kind of weird because she was missing some of her shots with the bow, And I believe she missed with the blaster when she was trying to shoot Wrecker. I'm not even sure, but like...
She didn't even shoot.
Oh,
at
okay,
Wrecker.
all right. But I definitely distinctly remember her
But if
missing
she did
some shots.
But if she were to shoot, I feel like she would purposely miss.
Okay, maybe. Because I'm thinking, like, dude, we saw you shoot the gun out of Crosshair's hand, episode 1. Like, you've got some skills. Don't even try to play.
Oh yeah. But you know, shall we get back on topic?
Yes, we should. So, they escape peril. They end up actually almost turning Crosshair into Darth Vader.
Oh yeah, when Crosshair had one of the troopers turn the engine back on, they obviously did the plan of exploding themselves out of the trouble.
Right.
And just the engine just hit Crosshair, not full blast.
But like
But
you're
it
still
wasn't a
getting
direct
hit with that
but
heat
like,
radiation. Like
if you remember, we see him like wearing like a cast, like an oxygen mask.
yeah, he had like a cast on his arm. His face was wrapped up. He had an oxygen mask on, looking like Darth Vader.
But he got badly damaged.
I feel really bad because now it's like what? Sorry.
Random theory, but what if the damage caused to him was able to damage the inhibitor chip?
I doubt it because he was still talking and giving orders even after he was fucked up. So the only way that would have to be is if he was healed, but I don't see that.
Yeah, you're right. Or maybe it could have fried a little bit, but not enough for it to stop working. Or,
to be honest, though, if the heat was enough to fry a chip inside your brain, I think your brain would be toast as well, though.
Yeah, if I do recall, I think season 6 of the Clone Wars, one of the inhibitor chips fried in the clone.
Right.
And he activated, he executed Order 66 a little early, then he basically died from the malfunction of the inhibitor chip.
So I really think he's still evil, but
yeah,
the reason, like, it's kind of sad now that happened because it's
Don't mind the fireworks, by the way, if you guys can hear that.
But it's sad for me because now he's hurt, and it's like I don't want him to live being that hurt unless they just heal him and he's not like this isn't a big injury.
You want to know what they're gonna do? They're gonna throw him in a bacta tank. It's like a tank that when you're injured, like Luke has been inside of it. Finn from the sequel trilogy has been.
So where the hell was this tank for Anakin?
You think Palpatine was gonna do that? Come on, Palpatine's a dickhead.
Fair.
But basically, the bacta tank, you get put in it to heal, like not minor injuries, but bad injuries.
It could probably help that. Okay. But if they don't do that, because again, I mean, this is the Empire. If they didn't do that for Darth Vader, why are they going to do it for a clone?
Yeah, really. Like, Tarkin doesn't even like clones.
Right, so like, I really don't see that as an option at all. Which leads me to believe there's two options. He's either going to live and be, like, hurt, which I don't want that, or he's going to die by the end of this, which I don't want that, but I'd rather that than him live being fucked up.
But my theory since the first episode, they're going to die one by one. By the end of the season, if they don't do a second one.
Speaking of dying one by one, why don't you talk about this bounty hunter now?
So Hunter it's Hunter and Omega at this point, just them two right now. They get back to their ship. They see a room full of dead clone troopers that none of them have actually killed themselves. And then Cad Bane, out of nowhere, just like leaning up against her ship, all smug. Like when you figure out how to take out one clone, you figure out how to take out all of them or whatever, and then like this Western music starts playing.
I don't like how that worked.
Like literally, I'm not the biggest fan of Cad Bane, but I love that they went with like the Western look.
That was amazing. He's always had the Western look.
He always had the Western look, and in that.
Gave me like Rango vibes.
Like, and if you didn't see it from the Clone Wars in the Bad Batch, like they confirm it with the Western music.
Oh yeah,
And then like She mentions like giving him the girl, referring to Omega, and then like this whole like duel like thing that you see in like old cowboy westerns.
All right, that pissed me off because that's what I think he meant when he said, "Once you know how to take out one clone, you know how to take them all out." Thinking all the clones are the same. That's why obviously Hunter said what he said. Like, oh well, we're different. You know,
Yeah.
He didn't actually say that, but that's what he was implying. But I don't think Cad meant that. I think he meant like he was gonna. Because think about it, from the whole time, like you said, he was leaning up against the ship, the music was playing, and then the whole show changed to like this Western atmosphere.
Yeah.
So Cad got Hunter to play right into his hand and be like, oh, okay, so we're doing this little standoff thing, and basically ignore his training. He could have tried to just like be a soldier about it and go try to shoot him, but
Yeah.
he didn't. He stepped on Cad's level and tried to like outplay him at his own game.
Yeah,
and I think
which-
that's why he caught one straight to the chest plate.
Yeah, I mean, he is still alive. Like, we see...
All right, you know what? I don't care, okay? Because I almost cried anyway, all right? I saw him go down, and I was like, oh my God!
I was like, no fucking way they just killed someone, like, halfway in the series.
Dude,
But, you know,
I just kept thinking about your theory. I'm like, dude, is this the beginning? Is this the beginning?
I thought it was, realistically. But then, but, you know...
But I'm sorry, in my heart of hearts, if it does have to go down that road, Hunter's my favorite, and I want him to end the last, because he's the leader. Sorry.
Yeah, but the whole Western vibes of that whole showdown, like, oh my God, this is just like fucking that scene from Back to the Future 3, like the old, fuck, what's his name?
Doc Brown.
No, not Doc Brown. I
have no idea.
I don't remember his
the
name.
movie. I have no idea.
I don't remember his name, but he's in like a lot of westerns, that Papa even has.
Clint Eastwood?
Clint Eastwood, yes. A lot of Clint Eastwood movies, like I think Dirty Harry's one of them.
I don't
Joe
know.
Kidd, I don't know. It just gave me a lot of that, and then like Red Dead Redemption vibes, like that game. Those games are great. I love the Western vibe to it all.
Yeah, that was. Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
that was a great scene.
That was really. That was
full
a
of
great scene.
emotion. I didn't even know the guy's name, and I was still like, oh my God, it's him.
But and then even Cad Bane's droid returns, which is voiced by Seth Green. If you didn't know that,
I did not know that, and fuck that droid, because Omega was gonna try to shoot him, and that droid was just like, no.
Yeah, which that sucks, because Hunter shoots that instead of hitting Cad, he shoots the leg off of the droid. I'm like, I thought you had better aim than this. Like, what?
That I'm so glad you brought that up, because I kind of forgot about that for a second. That was weird to me. Like when he shot, it looked like he didn't even try to shoot Cad. He like went straight for the droid, and then to hit it in the leg, I was thinking, did he try to explode the droid? Like why go for the droid? I thought there was a bigger plan. I thought he was gonna shoot the droid and then take the bullet so that Omega could shoot Cad or
Hopefully
something.
they end up explaining that in the next episode, because I don't see Hunter having bad accuracy at all.
I kind of wanted to go back and watch the scene though, because it got me thinking like maybe. Because it was all happening so fast, maybe I didn't comprehend it right. Maybe Cad shot first before Hunter and then hit him in the chest plate, knocking his aim off. But I thought Hunter shot first.
But then again, this would be that whole, Han shot first, Greedo shot first type scenario from A New Hope, if you remember that scene in the cantina.
I don't.
But basically just Han is sitting at one end of the table, Greedo's sitting at the other. Greedo's talking about Han's debt to Jabba. Then we see Han basically pull his blaster out under the table. I think we see his, and then they shoot each other at the same. They shoot at each other at the same time, and I don't know why this is such a hardcore argument in the fan base. Oh, Han shot first. Greedo, like, I don't care who shot first. Either way, Han's the walking out of that. Like,
well, I mean, I guess I was gonna say I wouldn't care either, but then when you think about the situation we're talking about with the Bad Batch, it sort of kind of matters, because if
Cad
shot first,
mattered.
it makes sense. But if he didn't, then what the fuck was Hunter doing?
Alright, now I feel like when we're done here, I feel like we need to watch a fucking, like, like maybe we could pull the clip up on YouTube and hopefully watch it in slow-mo to see realistically who shot first. Because if Cad Bane did shoot first, it would make total sense why Hunter's aim was off.
Right, that's what I was saying. Like, it was so weird watching him shoot the drone. Like, why? Why did you shoot the drone? What was the significance of that? I don't get it. I did not get it.
Yeah, I don't know. But speaking of the whole Han shot first thing, I remember seeing a picture of Arnold Schwarzenegger and Harrison Ford standing next to each other, and Arnold was wearing a Han shot first shirt.
Oh my gosh. Oh wait, yeah. I remember seeing that.
And I'm like, that's funny.
I had no idea what it meant, but yes, I do remember seeing that. Okay, maybe I can pull it up on my phone here. What is that? I'm sorry, I don't know. Okay, we have to hold him back here. What is that? Oh my goodness.
It better not be my keys interfering.
Right, I'm so confuzzled. What is going on right now?
Is it my hair dye? I don't fucking know.
Is that better? I don't understand. Maybe we... Oh, I missed it. All right, whatever. What the hell?
I'm so confused.
Is it because I'm playing a video? Do I need to hold it out here? What's going on?
Sorry for the technical difficulties.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to make it not sound super crappy and like glitchy. I'm really just trying to see who shot first. If it's even gonna show me that. Oh, you suck. You really suck. Excuse me. Wow. Oof. Okay, can I see him shoot? All right, whatever. I'm sorry. It's taking up too much time. Whatever. We'll figure it out.
But,
Oh, this is perfect. I don't know where you put it, but you could definitely talk about the new thing you got while I'm trying to find this clip.
I put it up there.
Oh, all right. You could grab it.
All right. Well, while we wait for that, let me just show a little something cool that I kind of bought. It was kind of an impulse buy, if I'm being honest.
What isn't,
But it was really cool, and
I just realized we're both kind of wearing pink, red. Like,
yeah,
that was not intended at all.
That was not at all. But
Okay, nope. I saw that clear as day. Cad shot first.
Cad shot first.
100%.
It's not Star Wars themed, but it's a little vinyl record. I don't know if any of you know what this is, or what a vinyl record even is, but in like the early
Yep.
40s or 50s maybe, like there's like...
I know you did not just say 40s or 50s.
Maybe, is it sooner? Is it earlier than that?
I think so.
I don't know the entire
In the
history.
1931, 30s.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
Vinyl records were hot back then, and
basically, your grandmama used to listen to these. These are old people CDs, guys.
Well, yeah, and apparently they still make them.
They do. They made a comeback a couple years ago.
A lot of modern day, I figured out not figured out, but I saw that they make a ton of vinyl records for even modern day artists.
Yep, they do.
Which is ridiculous.
They turn stuff into records, and then they have a lot of movie soundtracks.
But this one, Guardians of the Galaxy, Volume 1.
Tilt it sideways a little. Yeah, there you go.
There we go. It's a deluxe edition. It comes with both the copywritten songs and then the original score for the film. Like I said, kind of an impulse buy.
And this was for Guardians 1?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. I like that soundtrack. I can't wait for Guardians 3. I wonder how that's going to sound, dude.
But, I figured, I show this to buy some time in between, Ow.
That seems like it's going to be very cool.
Very cool.
Very cool.
I kind of hit the light, so I hope it don't fall.
I think it'll be fine.
Especially, one of us gets fucking...
I don't care. As long as it's one of us and it's not Moon Knight or the Pops, we're good, man.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, so definitely looking at that Cad shot first, and then Hunter went to shoot, and he got hit, and that's what made him shoot. Yeah, so he just messed up.
But after that though, we get a first person view from Hunter of him like being dragged into the ship and whatnot.
So thank God he survived.
When I really liked that was a cool.
It reminded
scene.
me of like a video game moment. Like I feel like that's the opening to a video game.
That's literally, if I can recall, I'm pretty sure that's like an opening scene in one of the Call of Duties, where like you're a soldier, like that's like you're injured and.
I think you're getting like dragged off a boat onto shore or something like that.
Something.
I don't know.
But either way, it's definitely a video game moment. Obviously, films and TV do it all the time, but.
You're right. It was cool.
But it was cool, and I forgot where I set my phone for a second.
But yeah, then the episode pretty much ended with Hunter, Wrecker, Tech. I didn't see Echo, if I'm honest. I only saw 3 of them get on the ship and go. Unless Echo was right next to him holding him. That's probably why we didn't see him.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure all of them were there. But it pretty much ends with them asking where Omega is, and Hunter ends with
a bounty hunter. He doesn't even know who it is.
Nope, he does not. Which I find interesting.
Yeah, I don't know why. I just assumed he would know who that is, because like I feel like that guy's reputation precedes him.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. Like he's literally a space outlaw.
Right. Okay. Well, that makes sense why he does the whole outlaw stuff then.
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't think he's necessarily called an outlaw.
No, probably not. But like, it's clearly a play off the cowboy outlaw.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, so the episode ends like that. So now Omega is on her way to Camino.
Most likely, unless the Bad Batch intervened before that. But you know.
Or what if it's some Star-Lord shit and Cad just keeps her?
Jesus. Actually,
she can fit in. Oh my gosh, I actually did think about that because when they were crawling through the engine, all of the Bad Batch guys went up, and I just saw Omega just like duck down a little bit and walk through this little crevice, and that got me thinking, oh yeah, she's small, she's good for thieving.
I wouldn't hold it past Cad at all, though. He definitely is known to go off script.
Like he could just sell it to someone who would pay more for it.
Yeah, that's literally Cad.
Right.
I don't know if he would do that in this scenario, but he's known to go off script.
I really hope not, because I want to believe that Omega is safe, and if I'm honest, part of me wants to see what the Kaminoans' last phase is. Like I kind of want them to get Omega, because I want to know what's next.
But it better not be Force-sensitive clones, just saying.
I thought they could just use Crosshair, but no, they want Omega back.
Yeah, I thought that's what they meant from the first episode about the next phase and how they already have one clone in the facility, you know?
Right.
But, you know.
But no. And yeah, so that was the end of that. And then I got to rewatching Loki, episode 2.
Yeah. We watched it.
You know what's weird? I watched it the first time with you and then didn't remember much, and I just watched a bunch of YouTube videos, and then we officially rewatched it.
Yeah, because we still had to take notes and whatnot.
So different stuff was like connecting at weird points. But it was cool. We kind of got like previously on, you know, it caught us up with what's happening, which I guess makes sense because they're like hour-long episodes, so there's gonna be a lot of shit in there that you're not gonna exactly remember, and then I guess some people are like that, but come on, it's Marvel. We remember everything here.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely don't remember them switching actors for Rhodey or anything.
No. But so the TV, it starts Loki episode 2. I don't even know if it has. Yeah, it does have a name. I don't know what it is. Sorry. Yeah,
I don't remember. But
the TVA starts by tracking the variant to a Renaissance fair in 1985.
Yep, Wisconsin, 1985.
Wisconsin something. I don't know. It sounded like one of Thor's villages, honestly. I didn't think it was going to be Wisconsin.
But yeah, when the episode first starts off, like, it doesn't, like, obviously it does the whole, like, location thing or whatever, but then it takes a minute to give us a date, And I thought, like, wait, what? Are we in the Renaissance times? Like, and then, 1985. Oh, it's a Renaissance fair.
That was weird to me because I thought as we were watching it, for some reason, I got the vibes. I'm like, this is not real Renaissance. This is like a Renaissance fair. This is like people LARPing. I thought it was... I didn't know it was 1985, if I'm honest. I thought it was present day.
I honestly didn't know people did... Like, you hear about Renaissance fairs in, like, media and whatnot, but, like, I didn't think people actually still did them. Obviously, 1985 is 40 years ago, but...
I mean, I don't know to this day if they do, but I've been to a Renaissance fair and like when I was like 10 or something.
Oh,
I went with one of the neighbor's kids, Doug.
Well, I've never seen anything about a modern day Renaissance fair ever. I just hear about them like media.
To be fair, though, have you looked?
No, because I don't...
Right.
Like the medieval theme...
Would you go? Like, if I found one, would you go to a Renaissance fair?
I like the idea of, like, the medieval time period, but then again, the Renaissance fair isn't real medieval times. Obviously,
you're
it's
right.
supposed to, like, recreate.
The one I went to, it's just kind of like they had shows of people dressed up and they were doing different gimmicks, and it kind of reminded me of the scene from Shrek when the Lord Farquaad guys were gathering Donkey and all the other people. Like, it was just an act of, like, randomness, basically.
Yeah.
But set in the same time period.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd get into it, though. Like, I would dress up. I'd be roll out looking like Robin Hood or one of the married men.
Yeah. I mean... in a way, that is like a form of cosplay, and I've always been interested in cosplay, so...
I'd really love to expand our horizons and go to, like, a Comic-Con or something and actually cosplay.
Yeah, dude, just, COVID.
But stuff's starting to open up now, especially if we got vaccinated. It'd be super easy to go to things.
Yeah, it would be. I just don't like the idea of the vaccination.
I don't either, because I feel like it takes longer than a year to get a good vaccine. So I'm not opposed. Like, I'm not an anti-vaxxer. I'm not opposed to getting it.
I'm not an anti-vaxxer, but I'm not a vaxxer.
I just want to make sure that it's good enough, and like a year or two down the line, we don't see those commercials where it says like, oh, if you or a loved one is taking this medication and is suffering from one of these things, they may be entitled to a settlement or something like that,
Yeah, I don't know.
It's like, if I'm going to get cancer or something, let it be because of the choices I made, not because of the medicine. Like,
yeah, really. Like is there even medicine that has been perfected?
That's fair. I feel like, honestly, I don't know. We could get into this whole medicine field, because I feel like we could be using stem cells, and like, I'm sure rich people probably do this, but medicine could be a lot more personalized. But instead, it's like this one-size-fits-all thing that is just ran like a business in this country to try and make money.
Yeah, which is kind of ridiculous. And then especially the whole, like, when you get the second shot, depending on where you go, because some places do one shot and you're done. But, like, I heard that the second shot at, like, the Walmart locations, like, some people don't feel good for that day.
Yeah, Lucas didn't. Him and Mom got their first shots, and he said that he didn't feel very well.
Which I don't like the thought of, oh, hey, I got a vaccination, but I don't feel good for this day.
Right.
Like, I guess...
But then again, that happens with flu shots, too, though. So, like...
But then again, flu shots aren't perfected either.
I mean, they're as perfected as they can be. Yes, the flu, like, sometimes...
Just wait 30 years. Wait 30 years.
Like, sometimes the flu mutates, and that's why we get a new flu shot every year. But, I mean, the whole point of a vaccine, anyway, is, like... It's weird because I never really thought about it before. Like, I always thought it was like, oh, magic shot. You get this. It protects you from the thing it says it's supposed to. But if you really think about it on a biological level, the only thing that a vaccine does is get you sick, because that's really the only way to get past a sickness is to get sick and get past it.
Mutate your, like... genetics or whatever.
Well, it's like the reason we're here is because people back in like old times.
But, speaking of vaccinations, too bad in the Renaissance times they didn't have a vaccination for the Black Plague or whatever.
Right, that's a perfect example. We still don't have one now. We just use antibiotics.
Jesus.
Yes, there's still not one now. I mean, it's not.
Like
It's a lot more
Black
easily
Plague
treatable.
even, like,
Yeah, there are some modern cases. It's not like a plague, but there have been a couple recent cases.
That's kind of crazy. I honestly, I only mentioned the Black Plague because this episode of Loki starts at a Renaissance fair, and that's one of the sicknesses.
Right. But, like, a vaccine is supposed to trigger your immune response to make your body fight it off and then make antibodies. So then if that same virus comes back again, your body's ready for it. You have a better
chance, of not getting the sickness and whatnot.
So, yeah, it makes sense people would feel sick because you do get...
Yeah.
You're supposed to trigger that response. But anyway, way off topic.
Yeah, but you know, Comic-Con, that'd be nice to go to.
That'd be so awesome.
I don't know. If I do go to Comic-Con, I definitely would want to dress up as someone. And my mind is always like Eddie Richtofen from Black Ops Zombies, because I've had friends that say like I have like a similar look to the younger version of him.
I really don't know. I can't remember what he looks like. But you just brought up another good point that I always forget. Like, I mean, you can cosplay as so many different things in Comic-Con, like pretty much anything.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like I would spend half of my time at Comic-Con just like, hey, can I get a picture? Hey, can I get a picture?
Oh, for sure. I would go there, especially now that weed's legal. I'd go there with, like, hey, you want to come outside, have a picture, have a smoke? How you doing, man? Like, dude, get a picture of me hanging out with Thor? What?
Wait, whoa.
That would be so cool.
And honestly, just the whole, like, scenery or the whole environment at Comic-Con seems like a chill spot. Like, it's just, you know, nerds dressing up with, what they, like, with what they love or whatever, you
just
know.
Being themselves, being nerdy.
Oh, yeah.
But I love seeing the hardcore people that have the really good costumes that, like, really go for it.
Yeah, like the professional cosplayers that make money off of their cosplays and whatnot.
Right.
But if we were to ever go to Comic-Con, it would definitely have to be something we film. Like, maybe for, like, a video on the YouTubes or just memories.
You know what's weird? I don't even know how that would work, because the idea of blogging is weird to me. The idea of walking around holding a tripod, just videotaping me doing my everyday life is weird.
Well, you don't have to, you know, do a tripod. Like, people just hold, like, cameras and whatnot.
Right.
I don't know.
Just work it into my costume, put a GoPro on my head or something. This is what I saw at Comic-Con, literally.
But, you know, we could just scratch that and just, you know, post, like, Snapchat stories.
True. I'm definitely taking pictures. Like,
oh, yeah.
I'm immortalizing that.
But let's stop talking about Comic-Con, because Comic-Con seems like a really dope thing that we could just talk about for a while, so.
But, yeah, they track them to a Renaissance fair, and then the variant basically uses, like, Scarlet Witch magic.
Whoa. You assuming genders now?
I am.
Wow.
But basically, the variant uses some Scarlet Witch type magic to mind control the commander of the squad to just, like, killing everyone in the squad, pretty much.
Yeah, the most confusing thing, though, is why I Need a Hero plays.
You know, there's the buzzing again. What the hell? I can't take credit for this thought because I was watching New Rockstars, but that could be foreshadowing, like, maybe this variant is actually the hero of the series, not the villain we think them to be. And then we get a nice little, you know, Sherlock-looking, like, X-Files type logo for Loki.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was in the first episode as well.
I think it was.
But but you mentioned that whole X-Files thing, and I'm like, yeah, I see it.
Then we see Loki studying for the TVA.
Yeah, and then he's talking to, like, a fully, like, 3D animated Miss Minutes, which here we thought she was just like the mascot, but then no, he's having a full-on conversation with her, and Loki even asked, like, are you alive, or are you a like, what was he saying?
He was like, are you
an AI or something?
I believe he said, are you alive or are you a recording? And Miss Minutes was like, you know, a little both.
And, you know, and then she even reacts to real-time things like Loki taking a magazine and, like, trying to, like, swat her and shit, and she was like jumping or moving out of the way. And
yeah,
then,
so like she
and
is
then,
kind of in the physical world.
And then in the breakdown from New Rockstars, Eric even mentions that like you could hear her feet like landing, like little thumps.
She's in the physical
like,
world.
Even on the keyboard that she jumps on, you could hear like the keys being like pushed in.
Yeah.
So
that's just
like,
expected detail from Marvel at this point,
oh,
honestly.
And then you know, she jumps into the computer screen, so you know.
Right, that's what weirded me out. Like, are you? I was on the same page as Loki. Like, are you real? Are you not? Are you magic? Because the TVA swears to God that there's no magic there, but they seem to be doing a lot of magical crap.
I don't have my own original speculation. I'm just gonna go with witchcraft. Which a lot, honestly though, a lot of the things that we've seen in Loki could easily tie into events in WandaVision.
What?
Because like similar stuff like
Nexus
events, the multiverse is mentioned, and you know, Multiverse of Madness, Wanda's in it.
Right.
Doctor Strange, obviously, you know. So I don't know. I'm not gonna jump to the conclusion. Oh, Loki's gonna be in that movie. He's probably not gonna happen.
Yeah,
but,
if he has his own show, why?
But I feel like it's gonna build up to events in that film, though.
Right. But anyway, so yeah, we don't know what the hell Miss Minutes is, but she jumps back into the computer screen, and then Loki and Mobius are going on a debriefing before their mission, and this was cool. Like, out of nowhere, we got Professor Loki. Mobius said something, and Loki had to correct him about his powers. I believe Mobius was talking about illusion projection, or duplication casting or something. I can't remember which one. Loki said, basically, like, no, let me correct you. Those are two different things. Basically, illusion projection is depicting a detailed image outside of oneself that can be perceived in the physical world. So, like, it's just an image that you can see. It could be anything, really. But duplication casting is, like, creating a hologram of yourself that's really exact down to the molecular level. So, almost a temporary clone, sort of.
Yeah, and we see Loki do that throughout the MCU.
Yeah, he does both.
So, you know.
So he is capable of both, but then we see the Loki variant in the beginning use those weird powers, and it's like, how strong is Loki capable of becoming? Are those magic artifacts that the variant's using, or is that just straight Loki magic?
Maybe both. Gotta hit you with a Miss Minutes answer right there, you know? Maybe maybe a little bit of both, you know?
I don't know. But the TVA doesn't, sorry. So they get done debriefing for the mission, they dive into the Renaissance Fair where their other squad was previously killed, and they try to track down the variant.
Yeah.
And Loki just kind of stalls for time.
Yeah, you know, for a minute you think like he's going somewhere, but then we know Loki as someone that does that.
I was kind of really mad that they blue-balled us like that, because I thought he was going somewhere and I was excited to hear about it, and then he was just never got there. He just kept going, and you find out he's just trying to stall for time to help the other variant.
Yeah, which we'll probably see more of that in the next episode.
Loki's gonna Loki.
Loki's gonna do himself.
Loki's gonna Loki, bro.
Loki's gonna Loki.
Said.
Loki is gonna Loki smash Lady Loki. I don't know, that was weird.
But anyway, then we skip to them. You know, he stalls, and Mobius is like, all right, he's just messing with us. Reset the timeline. Let's go. This failed.
Yeah.
And then he goes and talks to the judge, and she apparently actually talks to the timekeepers.
Does she?
Well, it's kind of alluded to. She said that the timekeepers are monitoring this very closely, so she has to have some upper connection in talking to them. So I believe, she talks to them.
Possibly, but she could also just be saying that because, I mean, does she really know?
I think so. Why would she just be
Like-
saying that
like-
unless she's covering and she's the head of the TVA?
Like, Mobius, like, even asked how the timekeepers are, and she's like, how do you think? And I'm like, I don't know. I've never met them.
Right,
So
exactly.
maybe a lot of people maybe just, I don't know, for all we know, everyone at the TVA could have possibly not have met them at all, but I don't know.
I don't think they did. That's the whole thing. It's like one big propaganda machine. They watched that introductory video as a way of just saying, yes, this is what happened, instead of actually seeing how it happened. I don't think anybody at the TVA saw the timekeepers. That's kind of the whole secret.
No, I know, but I'm saying maybe even Lady Renslayer hasn't met them yet.
No, I think she's definitely met them. The way she was talking to Mobius, like, it's a real weird act if she hasn't. The only way that would work is if she's the villain of the show, I think. Otherwise, what would she gain by lying?
I don't
Because
know.
she seems like she just follows orders too. She doesn't really seem like she has her own motives. But that could be a plot twist, I suppose. But I think she's just doing what she's got to do.
Yeah, probably, but
And Mobius doesn't use coasters. I like that. Neither do I.
yeah, I don't.
Screw coasters.
Maybe don't have a was it like a marble table or something?
Right. Like, I never get a table that you can just put a cup on.
Like, I get it, like the moisture on the cup, like even on like wooden tables and whatnot.
Weren't
like,
they
damn it.
drinking alcohol? What moisture? Or maybe there was ice. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't recall ice being put in the cup, but it could have maybe been something that happened off screen while it was like a close up of Renslayer. I don't know.
Maybe.
But you know, they talk about Loki, and basically Renslayer gives Morbius one more chance with the variant, and then
There's
Loki's
no
on
R,
some
man, it's
like
Mobius.
what?
Said there's no R, it's Mobius.
I know I didn't say
You
Morbius.
said Morbius. Yeah, you did.
No, I did not.
Yes, you did too.
I swear to God, I did not.
I swear to God, I'm gonna get. Have you ever seen Dave Chappelle? The Chappelle Show.
Well, yeah.
All right, there's like he has this thing called the home stenographer, and it's like this little guy that'll just sit there and like, you know how a person in a courtroom just takes
Yeah.
notes of everything that's said. He just sits there and takes notes of everything that's said. Get one of them and just set it right there.
But either way, Renslayer gives Mobius a second shot with the variant, or
The
you know,
last shot.
the last shot, yeah. And then, long story short, Loki basically goes on like some Batman detective shit. But there is that whole funny bit where he goes like the librarian, like, "Hey, can I get the files to the creation of the TVA?"
No.
Classified. What about the beginning of time?
Classified.
What about the end of time?
Classified.
What files can I have?
Your own.
Wow. That was a little funny, and then he learns about the events of Ragnarok,
Hey,
and then
hey.
Shh. Why'd you spit on me, dog?
I don't know, dude. I'm sorry, man.
Wow, fuck you. But
I don't know why that's funny when he shushes her back, because like I expected more, honestly.
I honestly thought he was just gonna be like, goes back to work instead of turning around like. But he learns about the events of Ragnarok, meaning you know the destruction of Asgard.
Well, he
and
learned
whatnot.
about that before, I thought.
No.
In more detail. Like, he saw it before, but now he's...
I think the only thing he actually saw from Ragnarok was Valkyrie, Loki, Thor, and Hulk on the bridge.
Oh, okay.
I think that's the only thing that he saw.
Okay.
But like he learned about the actual destruction of Asgard,
Oh,
and
yep. Okay, that makes sense.
and then
Because him and Mobius had a talk, and Mobius was like, hey, this is your last chance. Go read all the Loki files and, like, come up with something.
and then he comes to the conclusion that this variant likes to hide in apocalypses because no matter what they do, there's no branch timelines will happen. And
yeah.
because at the end of the day, like, it's going to be the destruction either way.
Yeah, that's what he says. Like, it was a little hard to wrap my head around, but after rethinking about it, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, if the way Mobius says branching timelines work is like, basically, if I was going to be a variant, I do something that is unexpected or that I'm not supposed to do, and then it leads to this chain reaction of other consequences that were never supposed to happen, leading to a timeline.
Yeah.
That branches. But if me and you, if this is the branching point right now, if I do or say something I'm not supposed to, and this is the branching point, then if me and you were to die right now, it wouldn't matter and it wouldn't branch because nobody knows or is around to continue what would have been the branching timeline. Whatever I said, you didn't hear because now you heard it, but now you're dead, so it don't matter. It never gets uploaded. Nobody hears it, so there's no branch.
Yo, when you say that, that makes me think of Rick and Morty from when they Cronenberg their timeline.
Yeah.
And then they just, like, switch, like, in replacement of apparently the version of the timeline where instead
Rick and
of
Morty died.
Yeah, where Rick and Morty died, but where Morty doesn't bother Rick about making a love potion for Jessica to fall in love with him.
Well,
like,
no,
he finishes
that happens.
he finished like in that timeline instead of.
It's because they die before it's the same day.
Yeah, no, it's the same day, but different timeline where the one that they switch timelines. You know, Morty bothers that Rick to make him a love potion, but in the timeline where they do die, Rick finishes that invention that he was working on, and it blows up, and they die and they get blown up in the garage, and they end up burying their corpses.
Yeah.
That what you were saying about us dying and none of this even mattering what we say without it being uploaded, you know, that reminded me of that in no sense.
I mean that. It's not the same, but I see the connection.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it makes sense. If nobody's around to continue the branching consequences, then it never happens. So when they go back to Pompeii and he starts saying that they're from the future and we're all going to die anyway, and then they do all die, there's no variant energy detected.
Yeah, when they go to Pompeii, like Mobius is trying to be like nonchalant about it, like just make like bird noises or whatever. And then he's like,
why would you start with bird calls?
Like, yeah, Loki just like fuck it, lets all the goats out, starts speaking their language, like,
be free, my horned friends.
Then he's like, we are from the future, we are agents from the Time Variance Authority.
I wish you all bad tidings to all of you, and dark tidings to all of you.
Yeah, he's an idiot.
I don't know. Again, Loki gonna Loki.
Yeah.
But yeah, it proved, like, hey, no variant energy is detected, so this variant is just hiding inside of apocalypses.
Which
Apocalypsi? Multiple of an apocalypse. I don't know what you call that.
Yeah, I don't know.
But that's where it's hiding.
Maybe it's like the term Jedi, because the plural for Jedi is literally Jedi.
Well, I mean, that's like the plural for deer is deer, so it's just like they're hiding in they're hiding in apocalypse.
Like, just, you know, it could be just one of those words where like it's the same, even plural.
Nah, it seems like it's like fox, like foxes. Apocalypses. I don't know. I don't care. Whatever.
But you know, they have that whole, you know, bit, and, you know.
So now they found sort of a reliable way to track the variant. They can narrow it down to apocalypses. Yeah, so, you know, there's only like billions of possibilities now.
Yeah, really. But honestly, when Mobius is like, there's like a billion apocalypses throughout the entirety of time or whatever, and I'm like, I kind of want to look up apocalypses. I mean, see, like, what, you know?
I never really thought of what the word apocalypse actually means.
Because the first thing that comes to my mind when I think of apocalypse...
Zombie.
Yeah, zombie apocalypse.
Oh, I knew.
I
knew that
like,
was coming.
or even the second thing that comes to mind is, like, the Mad Max version of an apocalypse. Where, like, it's, like, wastelands, like, there's no, like, civilization. Well, I mean, there's still civilization, but not as heavy as it would be in, like, the modern day.
Right. Okay, so the dictionary definition of an
what the
apocalypse.
fuck was that?
Whoa, did it buzz?
It buzzed.
My bad. Okay.
It buzzed like Buzz Lightyear.
Okay, so an apocalypse, from the dictionary definition that I googled, the Oxford Dictionary, is the complete, final destruction of the world as described in the biblical book of Revelation. I don't care about the biblical book.
So destruction of a world.
An event involving destruction or damage on an awesome or catastrophic scale.
On an awesome scale? What?
I didn't realize awesome could be used like that, but that's more like the definition they're using. An event involving destruction or damage on a catastrophic scale. But, I mean, like we simplified it down to it, basically, it doesn't have to be an apocalypse. It's just any event that you didn't cause that's already going to happen where everybody around you dies, so nothing you do matters.
Yeah. So, speaking of zombie apocalypse, the Resident Evil franchise, that'd be a branching timeline right there. Because the I forget the name of the, like, company, but they are the reason behind the T virus.
Right, yeah, right.
That wasn't, like, something that just happened. They made it, and I think they made it intentionally, and then...
But what if that was supposed to happen? That's where this whole branching timeline thing is weird to me, because, like, you and Loki even brought up before, like, were the Avengers supposed to do that? Was Thanos supposed to do that?
this whole supposed to happen thing is like, what? I don't get it. Like a Mad Titan was supposed to travel 4 years into the future?
Right, like all of that was just supposed to happen, but then Loki grabbing the Tesseract wasn't supposed to happen?
Like, I feel like Thanos traveling 4 years in the future is more mattersome than Loki grabbing the Tesseract.
Very more problematic. But, again, stop, think about it a second time. Maybe it's supposed to be this vague because we're going to find out that the TVA is like a sham. And the timekeepers aren't weaving, like, it's not this well-oiled machine that it would have us to believe it is.
It would be kind of ridiculous if, like you said, well, not kind of ridiculous, if Kang is one of the timekeepers, and then what you mentioned is what if Kang is all three of the timekeepers, just
Kang
different
is
variations.
Just all the timekeepers.
That'd be pretty problematic.
That's what a lot of people are saying, that it's Kang, but also he's supposed to be in Quantumania. They narrow down the apocalypse. They narrow down the list to a list of apocalypse.
Yeah.
And then Mobius, which I tried to pay attention to on the rewatch because I did not remember that piece of candy.
Yeah, Kablooey.
Yeah, but now I do. He finds that piece of candy and realizes, okay, if they're going through time, then let's try to find out where this piece of candy's from, and then we can cross-reference that with Apocalypse, and then maybe we can find where they are.
Yeah.
And sure enough, works perfectly.
The funny thing is, though, so they end up going to 2050, at a Roxcart grocery store in Alabama.
Right.
And if I recall, looking at all the shelves, I don't remember seeing, like, Kablooey at all on the shelves. Like, I remember only seeing, like, Pepsis and Mountain Dews and Cokes.
We were only in one part of the store, though. Maybe that's something you grabbed from one of the little counters at the checkout.
Possibly, but we did also see Loki walking past a bunch of signs, like, you saw, like, gaming consoles,
right?
Like soda, snacks, like what you usually see at a restaurant.
Right, but again, do you really have a gum aisle? It's more like you go up to the front checkout, like maybe she grabbed it as she was walking in.
Yeah, I don't know.
And they were
some
deeper
stores do have a candy aisle, and gum does happen to be in that aisle.
You're right.
But I just, they cross-referenced Kablooey being from 2050, but yet we didn't see any at all in that grocery store.
I'm not saying anything about you calling it out. I love that we're calling out details like that, but I'm just trying to play devil's advocate.
Yeah, no, I know.
And think, like, how can we shoot this down?
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, you think, you know,
right?
The Kablooey's the main, like, thing, and how they got their answer to the time that they needed to go to.
Yeah, they could have thrown, like, a little... Or maybe we just didn't notice, and there is.
Like, maybe there's a Kablooey advertisement that we didn't see.
That's why I'm always careful. I sometimes try to be careful at certain things that I say, because it's like... Am I gonna sound stupid for this? Like, did we...
You know,
is there Kablooey and we just didn't see it?
I'm not saying I'm careful with what I say, but I do tend to back down on stuff that I do say. Like, if I'm, like, definitive, like, I didn't see Kablooey anywhere. I looked so hard. But I mean, I didn't look thoroughly.
Right.
But where I did look, I didn't see Kablooey.
And you're totally right. There was no Kablooey that I know of, so...
Like I said, I noticed products in the background that we buy today, like Coke and Mountain Dew and Pepsi.
And you even said that, like, wow, for it being 2050, this
like,
is some same products as today.
Like 30 years almost 30 years into the future, and yet...
I mean, hey, man.
Like, even the TVs look the same.
I know.
Like,
but, to be fair, that's like... This TV, your TV that you have now looks the same as the TV you had before, but it's a lot better because it's a smart TV.
Yeah.
So, I mean...
But, honestly, when I think of, like, products in 2050, I because I'm an advocate, or, you know, not an advocate, but because I'm used to movies that take place in the future and the technology being a lot more advanced, I'm used to that. And in Loki, we didn't see really that much more advanced technology in that 2050 scene, so I don't know. I like how I mention you overthinking stuff, but then I overthink stuff as well.
Oh, I do it really hard, man.
So, you know, honestly, the only thing advanced that we see is the TVA's technology, and that's not even in a specific timeline.
Right. Yeah, because the TVA doesn't exist in what we know as time. The TVA is actually located in, like, the null dimension or something, where, like,
is
time
that, like,
just
in the comics, or did they mention it in the...
No, it's in...
Okay.
I heard someone mention it in another video, but it's not in the show.
Gotcha.
He did say time works differently here.
Yeah, he did.
But, I mean, if you think about it, time's just a made-up concept for us to organize events anyway, so...
Yeah, really.
But, yeah, so they go to 2050, and luckily enough, they find the exact disaster they need to. The Loki variant's there.
Yeah, I'm just gonna mention that looked like a devastating storm. Like, clearly, obviously it was, if everyone, like, no matter, like, they were taking shelter in that store, but they were gonna die anyway, as one of the TV. Like we saw a sign. I don't know if it was just, like, the text prompting up on screen, but we saw the sign blow up.
Right, yeah, no, we did.
Like, crumble into pieces and blow up.
But
and then you even saw, like, buildings, like, blowing up as well.
That makes me, again, question the whole, like, apocalypse term, because I don't think this theory just applies to big-scale apocalypses. Think about it. Maybe not everybody in that town even had to die. Only the people in that store.
Yeah.
Like, a tornado could have ripped through the whole town, not hit anybody, but as long as it ran over that store and killed all the people that saw the Loki variant, boom, no timeline branch.
Yeah.
Because then, for all intents and purposes, same stuff happened.
Because if you think about real worlds, there's hurricanes and tornadoes all, like, that happen all over the world. Or not all, all over the world, I'd say.
Right.
And, like, it's not known for everyone to survive, but there are survivors.
Yep. This makes me wonder how many times, like, obviously, well, not obviously, maybe time branching is real in our world, but it makes me wonder how many times a timeline is gonna branch and then it takes care of itself. Like, what if me and you were out fishing, right? And we catch some monster fish that's like a new species, and really it's like an alien or something, and we're about to branch a timeline, and then, like, as we're pulling it out of the water, I just hold it up to you like, dude, look at this, and then we like both fall in the water and drown or something. That's not a real big event. Only 2 people died, but it kind of just took care of itself.
But honestly, since you mentioned that, that makes me think about how many times I feel like I've cheated death. Like, I feel like I've been I feel like I've almost been in like 2 or 3 different car accidents, and then one time, I feel like I cheated from getting hit by a car. Like, I was riding my bike. I didn't check both sides or whatever, and as I started to go, a car passes, hitting my handlebar.
Oh no!
So I'm like, oh my fucking god, did I just cheat death? Like, I got like that was lucky. That I feel like that'd be a branch timeline right there.
Maybe, or is it a branch timeline if you did get hit?
Maybe.
Because then maybe, like, your mom would spiral out, and that would cause different events, and that would be the branch in the timeline.
Yeah, that'd be just... Loki, the show, is making us look at time very differently.
I love it, because this could be true. You never know. But anyway, they tracked the variant to this store in 2050, and it seems like a trap, because... Like, they split up. Loki goes with the agent because she doesn't trust anybody else to watch Loki, which is hilarious because then the variant just knocks her out, no problem. Again, what is this Loki's power set?
Do you think she's able to possess several people at once?
I was confused about that. I didn't know if I don't know if it's like astral projection. I don't think it's that, but I didn't know if she was casting her mind into the bodies of those people as her body was setting off the bombs.
How come the Loki we know needed the Mind Stone in the scepter? Mm-hmm. Or wait, is it the Mind or the Soul Stone?
I don't know.
It's one of the stones in the scepter.
The Mind Stone. It's the Mind Stone.
The Mind Stone. How come he needed a Mind Stone, but this variant just...
Because maybe they have... I mean, clearly they had a different life and they grew up different and had different powers. Maybe this one was closer to Frigga as a mother. Or some people are saying, okay, so let's just get this out right now.
Yeah.
The variant reveals itself to be Lady Loki, what we think.
Which everyone was speculating from the beginning.
Right. But people are also saying that it could be the Enchantress. Her name is Sylvie. So maybe it's not a female version of Loki, but it could be this girl called Enchantress.
I would honestly like it to be Enchantress more than Lady Loki, because just me being me, the Lady Loki that we get in the comics looks more like Loki. Like this variant had like short blonde hair, and then like short horns. I like the idea of the Lady Loki variant having the long black hair like Loki, and then even like the longer horns like Loki does in the MCU. Probably in the comics as well, of course, but
but as we've seen, this Loki can transfer its consciousness throughout people, so maybe it found that body, liked it, and just stuck with that, and it did look like Loki before. Like a more accurate Lady Loki. And then it just stuck with this one because it clearly doesn't want to be associated with Loki. He even called it Loki, and she said, "Don't call me that."
Well, I think,
but that could also support it's the Enchantress.
It could, but I was also thinking because when Loki refers to the variant as Loki, she is possessing someone, and the variant is like, don't call me Loki, call me Randy, which I assume would be the name of the person that she possessed.
Yeah, it was on his name tag. She looked down and said, call me Randy. But I think that was like a joke because we were supposed to be waiting for the reveal.
Yeah.
But also, like, the way she reacted to it, like, don't call me that. Like, I don't think she liked it. Being associated with Loki.
Yeah, I don't know. I definitely do like the thought of it maybe being Enchantress instead.
I really don't know much about either character.
I don't know much about Lady Loki, and I don't know much about Enchantress. The most I've encountered with Enchantress is the Lego games. Like in Lego Marvel Superheroes 2, there's a mission in a medieval England timeline.
Right.
Where Enchantress is there and you fight her.
I've never seen that.
And I think she has like similar powers to like Doctor Strange.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
But other than that, you know.
Along when she reveals herself to be Lady Loki, she says, "This isn't about you." So clearly, again, that just seems to me like she doesn't want to be associated with Loki. And also, she has a bigger plan. Clearly, she has a bigger plan. A lot of people were saying that she set off those bombs, which New Rockstar's Eric Voss said he counted and there was 42. So she exploded the timeline to get the TVA to go try and fix it so it would be open for her to come after the Timekeepers.
So, okay, you might not remember the trailer, but there's a variation of Loki that's like President Loki or whatever. Mm-hmm. What if this President Loki is just one of the timelines that those time resets went to? And, like, what if each time reset thing was set in a different time? Well, I'm pretty sure. And it's just different variations. Well, obviously different variations of Loki, like President Loki. At first, people thought that the DB Cooper Loki would have been a different variant.
No, it was just him being stupid.
Yeah, which
I didn't like. I thought they would explain it in a cooler way.
Well, it is interesting because, you know, no one knows who DB Cooper is or what he looks like, so it is cool that they played on that aspect. Like, oh yeah, Loki, yeah, he's DB Cooper.
But that was a Ralph Boner moment.
Yeah, it really was. Yeah. So, I feel like the last couple of episodes are just going to be, like, obviously, Loki walks through the portal with Lady Loki. At the end, they both escape. I feel like the last 4 episodes will be them exploring more variations of Loki.
Okay, alright. I don't know, but I sort of kind of thought maybe I had a plan for how the show was going to go, and then I saw the end of episode 2, and now I'm just confused, because I thought it was going to be a bigger, wilder goose chase to find out who this Loki variant was.
Yeah.
But you just get it revealed right at the end of this episode, and it's episode 2. So, what are they going to do now? It leads me to believe that there really is a bigger, badder villain.
I'm pretty sure you even said that last week as well about there being a bigger threat.
But this pretty much confirms it.
Yeah.
Like, if we already know who Loki, the variant, is in episode 2, then what the hell are we going to build to? I think next episode she is going to go to the TVA, and maybe those Lokis together will expose the Timekeepers, and we find out, like, I don't know, maybe the Timekeepers aren't what they say they are. It could be Kang. It's all an illusion. Maybe, like, it's just Miss Minutes.
That'd be kind of cool, though, an army of Lokis.
That would be pretty cool.
Just a bunch of Tom Hiddlestons, maybe a few, like, other, like, weirdly shaped, well, not weirdly shaped, but, like,
variants.
Yes.
Like alien-type variants.
Yeah.
I don't think that would work, though, because let's be honest, these two Lokis working together is, like, barely gonna work. If at all.
Without because
Lokis are not good at working together. They all want to be the leader. It wouldn't.
Yeah, no.
It wouldn't work.
They'll stab each other in the back, literally.
100%.
I'd never do it again. Come on, man. You really stab, like, guys in the back like 50 times.
Right. But yeah, I really don't know where it's going now, but there's got to be some bigger thing. I kind of like the idea of all of the TVA agents being people that were just plucked from...
Yeah,
them being variants that they've caught before.
I like that theory a lot. Like with Mobius possibly being a variant from the 90s and why he's obsessed with jet skis.
But also that's a little weird because the other guy that was working at the desk when Loki took his juice box... Yeah, but when he took his juice box to do that salad thing... That's also another 90s drink. So is the cafeteria just 90s themed? I'm not sure.
Like we find out the TVA was actually manifested in the 90s, but they like made it to where it like spread across the entire...
I think it's older than that because of like the way that they have like that retro Miss Minutes monitor and everything.
Yeah,
you know?
like that.
Like the black and
monitor,
white.
that's from like maybe like the 70s?
I don't even know. Clearly, we saw the monitor. All the timelines are going off. I don't think they're going to be able to stop it. I think one or more of those timelines is going to redline, and that is going to be the destruction or the creation of the new multiverse, and this is leading to Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah.
Not
then,
WandaVision quite the way we thought it would.
Not
It's still
quite,
a Nexus event.
Yeah, it's still a Nexus event, and Wanda, she like I said, she's in Multiverse of Madness, so if she's not somewhat of a villain in that film, she's gonna help Doctor Strange for sure.
But I'm curious because this Loki theoretically takes place before WandaVision.
Well,
And before Falcon and the Winter Soldier. It takes place directly after Endgame.
How about this? Hear me out.
Okay.
What if we see scenes in the TVA where, like, you know, they see more of the multiverses or whatever, and, like, they're, you know how they display it on, like, monitors?
Mm-hmm.
What if there are 2 monitors that display events from WandaVision and then events from Falcon and the Winter Soldier? As, like, not necessarily a multiverse thing, but just, like, hey, this is, like, these are, like, the main timeline, or this part of the sacred timeline.
Like, these are events that are supposed to happen.
Yeah, these are events that are supposed to happen, and here's all these other events that aren't.
But
like,
if we do see other Loki cameos, it's definitely going to be because one or more of those bombs flatlines makes the multiverse, and then we're probably going to see them maybe jumping through portals of the new multiverse, and we're going to get little cameos of other Lokis.
Yeah.
Like you said, that's what created the different, like the President Loki and this and that, all of those versions of Lokis.
Yeah, because I really don't remember any other variations of Loki throughout the trailers at all. I only remember President Loki and then D.B. Cooper, but that was already debunked, so...
Yeah, so I'm not sure, other than the ones that we saw Mobius project, so I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
Oh, yeah.
But that was the end of the episode. There was no end credit scene yet.
No end credit scene. But yeah, we have been the GeeksspeaK.
And we'll catch you next week.